I think today you had a lot of talks about how things have to run in the cloud, how theoretically they has to be done, how the compliance is, and I think it's quite an interesting thing that I have the possibility to give the last speech to talk about how we can sell that and how we can make it sellable and how we can make the customers be the one who are really loving the products which they are getting. So before I do that, actually, I want to tell a story about cows and milk, to bring things very to the bottom of simplicity, so I don't have complex slides today. So my question I want to ask to the audience is, would you buy a cow if you just want to drink a glass of milk? You probably wouldn't. The same goes for would you buy a server instance, a software, if you just want to use a service, you just want to use a mail service, you just want to use a backup or a CRM or a Dropbox-like solution. So if we go further in this analogy, and in order to explain the food, as I call it, the food or the cloud chain, you can really see that somebody like LuxCloud, myself who created this company, ourselves who created this company 4 years ago, we are positioning ourselves in the food chain. So look into the ingredients which are sold to large marketplaces. Rangers is the largest food marketplace in the world. And then there are chefs who are buying out of this marketplace exactly the food they need in order to add their magic, bring in their know-how, and to create the best possible dish for their customers. That's exactly what we are doing and how LuxCloud is seeing the cloud value chain. Because you need today, in order to emphasize and in order to give value to the channel, you need to have a marketplace. We are the marketplace for cloud services. We are the ones who are bringing cloud services on, who are bundling cloud services for the channel. So on one hand side, you have the software as a services. You have all these services which we are onboarding in our marketplace. We are selling them to telcos, value-added resellers, or hosters. And these hosters then add their value add. For a telco, this would be his access, his internet access, his 4G network. For a value-added reseller or system integrator, this will be his knowledge of the processes internally in the company. And for a hoster, it will be his core business, which is the fact that they know how to sell, recurring business. And then they are providing this to an end user in an SMB company. So now what is very, very important here is that the most important person in the whole food or cloud chain or in the cloud service brokerage enablement is the one who is eating the dish. Because if he don't like the food, for sure he will not come back to this restaurant. And the same goes in some way for the one who is consuming the services which are provided in a cloud environment. If the one who is consuming the services is not able to use them, well, he will not use the services, and the whole cloud chain will not work properly because, well, the services are not sold. So we are talking about bringing app stores online, and that's what we are seeing every day. We have, for example, in the telco space, we have a lot of these telcos telling us, we want to have the app store for cloud services. Fine, but how is your go-to-market strategy? How will you bring these services to the end user who will consume the service? And there is, for the moment, the big gap between what is so nicely known by, or named by Gartner Cloud Service Brokerage, to really bringing it out to a usage and doing numbers with cloud services. So we all know that cloud is an SMB love story, and I think I could have spared you this slide, but well, it was in. So I think everybody talked about the huge potential. We are talking about Gartner's huge market, and we have 80% of SMBs are happy when they use cloud, and I think which is very important is, and that's very important, is that most of these companies, when they are happy, they will use more cloud. They will use more services. They will start, and initially in LuxCloud we don't care actually what service is the trigger. This could be backup online, this could be hosted exchange, this could be an ERP or CRM, but at the end, when they are happy, when the customer and the user is happy with the experience, he will take more services on, and this is also covered by research done. So, but I wanted to come back to cloud adoption. we really talked about cloud adoption in the early years of the cloud. We talked about infrastructure as a service especially, which was an immediate success. Why was this an immediate success? Actually, it was because this is a product which is designed from engineers for engineers. It is very simple. There is one person developing a vCenter, whatever environment, and there is a system administrator who has the same skill set who is installing it. So it is a very easy sell. But what is it about SaaS? Is SaaS the same easy sell? That's a question you can see today, and we have to answer. So if you look into how you manage cloud services today, so not talking about infrastructure as a service, but talking about real services. These are just 3 control panels who are out there. Control panels which today are presented to an end user in a company or to the CIO of an SMB, by knowing that today an SMB, because they are consuming the services out of as a service, so not anymore having anything on premise, they don't have knowledge about IT anymore in-house. These people are not able to handle these kind of environments. Same goes for using these services. If you look into how to use cloud services today, so imagine, that's just an example, 3 services. You have a mail marketing tool, you have an online backup, and you have an Outlook web access. So you open 3 tabs, you have to know and remember 3 times the specific URL because it is secured. You have to remember your login and you have to remember your password. Fine, you can do that on one PC, but don't move the PC because you will not be able to really get and to use these services. And that's the reality of today. And that's what we at LuxCloud, we are convinced that the market needs ease of use and ease of access. And that's exactly what we are wanting to bring in. So there are some essential questions you really have to ask yourself when we talk about cloud adoption. So the question is, and I specifically took the user first before the SMB. So what are users in an SMB looking for? So first of all, they are looking for usability. They are looking for the possibility. Actually, today they are used to have a smartphone, an iPad, an Android, whatever they have. They are looking for this kind of usability. They are not ready anymore than it was 12 years ago, or even 15 years now, where you could bring them whatever interface and they were ready to learn this interface. Today, this is not working that way anymore. Second of all, the user needs single sign-on. The user needs the possibility of not having to sign on 60 times a day to the different environments or to the different solutions he's using. And he needs mobility. He needs the possibility of using this environment on any device. So what are the SMBs looking for? What is the small and mid-sized business really looking for? First of all, they are looking for economy of scale. They are looking for the guarantee that they, even if they go through the channel, through a telco, through a value-added reseller or SI or a hoster, that they still have what I call the Groupon effect, that they still have a price point which is an acceptable price point in the market. They need the trusted IT partner, and I cannot stress this enough. As much as as much as the companies, the SMBs, are using the services as such and having no on-premise IT anymore, as more the role of the intermediary, of the value-added reseller, of the hoster, and even of the telco, if he lives up to, is getting important, because he has to guide him in the choice of his solutions, in the implementation of these solutions, in the internal workflows of the company. Because at the end, today, a CEO of an SMB don't think about IT as a cost anymore in-house, because he don't have the servers anymore. So he still needs to have it adapted to his internal workflows. And then something which is extremely important, the SMBs are looking for full user control. As we are going into a public environment, they need to have the possibility to, easily upgrade to more users, but more importantly, even cut access to leaving users in the company. Because something what was very easy before, you just stopped the VPN and nobody could access anything anymore. You didn't care about the internal services at the end because it was running on premise. Today, you really have to have the guarantee that people cannot access these environments anymore. So, and I think this is not working. No, well, I had a small video, well, I will do without. So, we at LuxCloud, we really think that you have to combine cloud service brokerage not only as cloud service brokerage. So it's not only about the fact to combine or to automate the delivery, the provisioning, and the billing of services, but it is really about the ease of use and the ease of access of these services in the internal company. And if you look just, and I could go for hours to that, so I just have three small screenshots. So if you want to manage cloud services, you want to have an environment where you click one button and you get to the environment you need. If you listen to it, it sounds very simple, but that's not how it is done today. You want to use these services in an environment which is an aggregated environment. This is what we call a centralized app workspace. You have one browser where you have single sign-on to all and any of these solutions which are running in this environment, so that the one who is using this on a daily basis in the company, he just goes and walks through this application seamlessly. And then you need to access it on all devices. So, and as you run in a browser, you can run this on any HTML5 browser, so it's very easy to use. So the future of the channel is really, could the channel drive more revenue by enabling more cloud services? And I think absolutely yes, because if you look today, the channel companies who can become cloud service brokers, by becoming cloud service brokers, they reduce churn. So let's talk about the three cloud service brokers in the market. So we're talking about SIs, we're talking about telcos, and we're talking about hosters. So the hosters and the telcos have existing customers. By bringing more solutions on and sticking more stickiness to their core business, they are reducing churn. They increase customer base. By bringing more services, they attract more customers. And for the telcos, very important, they increase their average revenue per user, and as such, they are really driving, or they are concentrating themselves on their core, which is for the telcos then their communications, and for the hosters probably and mostly their hosted their shared hosting platforms or their mail platforms. Very important is that they can deliver their added value to the customer. They really have the possibility to deliver what they know best. A telco concentrates on what he knows, and that is about this is about bringing communications. The value-added reseller can concentrate on his vertical. We have several sales partners who are using CRM, for example, and using then in CRM environment on our marketplace, and they could only do that, but they had a customer base. They had a customer base which was trusting them. Now they can upsell. They can upsell to more services. And then very important, you can rent the services you are not doing yourself. You would not do all. In no industry, everybody is doing. No car is built. BMW is not building a car with all and creating all the parts themselves. They are concentrating on what they are best on, and they are adding what they have to add to in order to make their offering most compelling. And then you, as a channel, as a telco, as a system integrator, as a hoster, you can focus on your core competencies. You have not to think about to set up an environment or to set up a recurrence business which you have no clue about to do, so you have to hire the people in order to do so, and you will probably either fail or either have a very large time or a very low time to market. So that was more or less all. So I really think that by combining cloud service brokerage with usability and accessibility, we will all become the customer's champion. It's the only way how we can make cloud services successful is when we care about the one who is using the services, and we make it seamlessly for the one who has to get and to send an invoice. That at the end is what we as LuxCloud are promoting in the market. So we have a booth. If you want to look and talk to our people, please do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marco. Does anybody have any questions for Marco on his excellent presentation, touching on the very serious and important matter of cloud service brokers, and certainly an opening in the market which is not being addressed at the moment?